Welcome to the last lesson of the format controls. After this lesson, I'll be teaching you more features that you can use on your graphs and charts to make them look better and stand out. So in this lesson, we'll be talking about the option button. Now in the last lesson, we did our drop-down list, also called a combo box. But not only does Michael Scott want to see it by month, he also wants to have the option to toggle between 2019 and 2020. Now when we made our checkbox, we can either turn it on or turn it off, but that just makes it blank or not blank. And Michael Scott wants an option to toggle between 2020 or 2019 and also do it by month. So here's how we're going to do it. We're going to use the option buttons. So let's go ahead and insert two of them. Let's go to our developer tab. Let's insert the option button. Put one right here. I'm going to label this as 2019. Let's go and shrink it down some. And do you remember what the shortcut is to duplicate this? That's right, it's Control, click, and move. Perfect. So now let's go ahead and click here. Let's label this as 2020. Go ahead and select these. I'll go to my quick access toolbar. I'll press align left. There we go. Move them over here. There we go. Click here, go up a little bit. And there we go. Now notice if I click on one, it shows it as checked. I click on the other one, and this one disappears. And this one is checked now. Because Excel views these both as a group. It says, oh, you have a couple of option buttons. Those two are linked. So watch what happens when I right click on one. Well, actually, let me go ahead and click this and bring it above. I want 2020 above 2019. Down, left, there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and right click on one. Go to Format Control. For the cell link, I'll put it right below the combo box. An E2. Press OK. I'll quickly label this as option button. So span that. There we go. Notice it's 2. Because this is the second one I made, the second option button. So if I click on the first one, it's 1. Likewise, you can make as many as you want. It'll be 3, 4, and so on. So general rule of thumb is if you have two options, which is equivalent to a yes or no, or true or false, a checkbox would be your best option. If you have 2, 3, 4, maybe up to 5 or so, option buttons might be your best bet. If you have more than that, it starts getting a little bit ridiculous to click through, so you might want to opt for the combo box. So for right now, we're going to link this to our graph. Now what we're going to do that, we're going to go back to our unclean data. We're going to add something here. And actually, let's go ahead and open up a new window. Press Alt-W-N. There we go. Press my Windows left arrow key. So now we have 2 of these. So on one, I'm going to go back to our original sheet, the combo box. There we go. Let's go ahead and label these real quick. For the combo box, we'll label it as CB month. Because this is showing the month. This one is going to be showing the years. We'll call this opt year. There we go. Let's go over here to our other open window. On the order month, it's just taking in the orders from 2019, but we want to change that to where if this becomes a 2, then it'll calculate the ones from 2020. So let's go ahead and do that. So for this one, we're probably going to have to start from scratch. It will be an if formula. So let's say if option year is equal to 1, which is 2019, then we're going to have to look in this cell over here, the order year, Well, actually, it's going to have to be another if formula. So we're going to use a nested formula. So this is the logical test. So this is equal to 1. Then if it's true, there's going to be yet another if formula, because now it's going to be dependent on both the year and the month. So there's going to be a couple of if formulas. So if the option year is equal to 1, which is 2019, and if that's true, then if the older year is equal to 2019, and if that's true, then I want the month of the older date. Close that. And if it's false, I want to leave it blank. It's saying if the option year is 2019, then look at this column and look for 2019. If it is 2019, then bring the month of this cell. So if that's false, so if this is not 2019, then leave it blank. So I'm going to close that. Now we're back to our original if formula. So now it's saying if the option is false. So if it's not equal to 1, well, that would be 2020. So now if it is 2020, then if this is equal to 2020, then I want the month of this cell. Close that. Otherwise, leave it blank. We'll close that. Then we'll close our other if statement and enter. Pretty long nested formula, isn't it? But trust me, it could be a lot longer. But for right now, we're going to leave it just like that. So right now we're in 2019. Let's go ahead and change this to 2020. Now in October, we don't have any sales, but we do have some at the beginning of the year. Let's go to January, and sure enough, it's calculating it just fine. Let's go ahead and check. Let's scroll down, 2020, 2, we got 1, which is January, scroll down, and sure enough, it's blank. So if it's 2019, it becomes blank. If it's 2020, it appears. So I'll go back to 2019. And sure enough, all the ones from 2020 disappear, and 2019 show up. Now, we have Control Home. So now we have a full chart. Press Control here. Move it. Order. Bring it to the front. Control Z. Click here. Now I can bring this down in our chart. We shrink it down a little bit. Doesn't need to be that long. There we go. Change this to employee sales. All right. So now we can see what happened in 2020, March, about 2019. And that's a pretty cool graph, huh? So if you were to give this graph to someone, they don't need to know how all these formulas operate. They can easily operate this all by themselves without any issues. And that's what you want. You want to make it user-friendly. The whole point of these format controls are to make it user-friendly to the person you're giving it to, and to yourself as well. In the next lesson, we'll be talking more about formatting these graphs better so they look better, different options you can do with these graphs, because trust me, there's a lot to learn when it comes to graphs. And again, that's where Excel really shines. That's where Excel really looks good, is when you start graphing things, making your data look very simple, and break your data down to where it's easy to understand. But in the meantime, practice what you've learned. I would highly recommend downloading this workbook and working alongside me, and practice, practice, practice.